Well, hi, everybody. It's another Conversations With, and I am delighted. You're not going to believe who's back. My pal Bonnie. Bonnie is back. She's been running crazy, doing all kinds of things. New house, new business, and here we go. So, how's everything going? You're in Webster now.
Yes, we moved Joy Asana from North Grosvenor-Dale, Connecticut to Webster, and we are right on Main Street in Webster now, 255A Main Street, which is downtown next to the corporate offices of MapFry. There's a Thai restaurant next door to us. There's underneath us is Outside the Box Escape Room, and there's a Chinese restaurant across the street. So it's really a great space we're in now.
Yeah.
And when we moved, we were able to add a new opportunity for students, which is aerial yoga. So we now have
Aerial yoga.
Yes, which is
Now, I just get this vision of people flying around the room.
yes.
You know,
It's like that.
airborne.
Yes. So we have hanging from the ceiling, we have these, they call them hammocks. They're made out of
Yeah.
silk hammocks. And, you know, it's about 3 feet off the ground. And each hammock is weighted to 2,500 pounds. So, you know, it's safe for people to.
Yeah.
I actually had a welder in Webster design the rig for me. When they have like an engineer who ran all the specs to make sure, and I actually ran the design by a guy who does circus arts. Like,
Where did you get the idea of aerial yoga?
it wasn't my idea.
No.
Sorry. I don't remember where I first found out about it, but there were some other studios, like I've taken classes. There's one in Northborough, although they recently closed. There's one in Framingham. There's
you
one in
saw it someplace else.
Leominster. Yes, they're, you know, spaced out, but there's none right here in South Central Massachusetts.
Right.
So we're the only ones.
You got these trapezes, hammocks.
Hammocks, yep, aerial hammocks. And the fun thing is you get to do yoga, floating. And so some of the poses you're standing and you're using the silk as a support. So you're putting your leg in it, or you're using your hands or your back, standing or kneeling. And then some of them you're in the silk seated, like it's almost like a swing.
Yeah.
And then some of them you actually get to flip upside down and do tricks and fun things. And we actually have a class that has been selling out. It's only every 3 weeks on Friday night, and it's called Nappy Hour. So it's like Nappy Hour instead of Happy Hour because it's Friday at 6 p.m. So Nappy Hour is basically you get to lie in the silk for 90 minutes, and I know you've mentioned this on the show before, but I'm a board-certified music therapist. So I play a selection of sound healing music, and I do Reiki. So I come around, and under the silk, I give Reiki to people on their back as they're lying in the silk. So it's really popular. It's taken off. We have a couple openings left for the ones in February. January sold out, but
How many can you take?
9 at a time, because there's 9 silks.
And so you have 9 at a time.
Yeah.
And you do it every Friday. Do
Yes.
the same people
No,
come
not every Friday. It's only every 3 Fridays. So it's one.
Well, if it's selling out, Bonnie, then you add a Friday.
Well, when the February ones sell out, then I'll add in. I'll see what I add on for March.
Because, well, that's my point.
I haven't added March yet. I'm waiting until February sells out.
Well, but that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And you have other stuff, of course.
Yes, so we have 4 aerial classes a week. We have an intro, which is on Saturday mornings at 9. So if you've never been in a silk before, it's perfect time for people to just get up a little early, come to the studio at 9 a.m. It's a great class. I only take 5 students at a time for that because I want to make sure people are new in the silks that I can come around and help them make sure that they feel safe.
But what about traditional yoga?
So we have 18, we have about 15 classes a week for regular yoga. Yeah. And I have 5 instructors. So,
Oh,
and
wow.
it's all levels.
So you get 5 different people doing it.
Yeah, one of them actually teaches Zumba. So we have Zumba on Tuesday night with Mandy, and Mandy actually lives right in Charlton. So she comes down and teaches. She's actually the president of the Moms Club in Charlton.
You know what we got to do? Hey, Drew, we got to get down, and we got to do a show with these silks. We got to.
With the yoga. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
We have to do that.
Only if you get in the silk though, Dick.
No.
What do you mean?
I'm okay. I'm still going through a horrendous adjustment in my own life. I was in the hospital over the weekend, and I said to the doctor, "You know what I'm beginning to realize, doctor?" And he said, "What?" I said, "The older you get, the more things can go wrong with you." And he laughed and he laughed, and he says, "I'm not laughing at you." He says, "I'm laughing with you." But he says, "I'm going to write that down because I have a lot of patients who are in their 70s, younger than you," and he said, "who are going through the same thing. Now I got an answer for them. The older you live, the more things can go wrong with you, you know." And when you think about it, it's just like an automobile, a washing machine, etc. The older it is, the more things will go wrong with it, you know. So we're all the same. But I've had a terrible personal adjustment. I don't know if I've told you the story, but I was in the hospital last winter. One day I'm sitting in the hospital, and it just hit me. And I started to cry. I mean, I really cried. And my nurse comes running in, and then I started to laugh. And she said, "You okay?" I said, "Sit down." So she sat on the bed with me. And she said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Well, I just had this terrible thought. And my thought was, I'm going to be 84 in August. And that means that I've been on this earth longer than I have time left to be on it." And it really hit me. And I started to cry. And then I said the Serenity Prayer, and I started to laugh hysterically. Because the Serenity Prayer was real simple. Okay? God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, you know, and the courage to change, etc. But my point was that I have to accept things, and I'm a doer. Get it done. And I have to accept the things because maturity brings with it a whole new set of challenges. And there are some things I just can't do anymore that I used to do. And you have to accept that. And that's very, very difficult from Mr. Wonderful. Who can, you know, and you have to accept those things. And one of them is mowing my lawn. I have a beautiful lawnmower that's got its own motor and it drives and everything, but it weighs about 175 pounds. And turning it and everything else is exhausting. So I have 2 choices. I can get a riding mower and continue to mow the lawn, or I can pay a kid $20 an hour to come and mow my lawn. But I can't do it anymore.
Just let me know if you want one of my kids to come over.
But the thing is,
I'll be happy to drive them by.
so the thing becomes, you just have to accept some things like that. But I think I got to see this aerial yoga because that's intriguing.
It is. It's really fun.
And it's been successful, so that even makes it more.
It's going great. And honestly, when I first wanted to bring it to the studio, I didn't think I was going to get certified to teach it. I have a great teacher who's teaching on Sunday morning, but that was all the availability she had was just for 1 class a week. She has another full-time job, and she lives quite a bit of ways away. But I was like, well, I'll just add on the 1 class, and then I'll do the nappy hour, which doesn't involve me having to teach actual, you know, just getting in the silk and lying down. So I thought that would be what I would start with. Well, it turned out I found the spot in Webster, and the landlord who, you know, lives in Webster, she knows everyone in Webster, her maintenance guy told me about the welder. So the welder said, yeah, we can build you this rig to put the silks up. So I said to my friends, I was like, yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to get the aerial silks up in this new location. you know, I said maybe I should go somewhere fun to get the training. And I was thinking like to go this year, like maybe in like February or
Yeah.
March when it's cold out. I was like, maybe I should go to like Bali in like February and do a training somewhere warm when it's
Yeah.
cold out. And my friend said, Bonnie, there's a training in Framingham next month. And I was like, there is? And she said, yeah. She's like, didn't you get the email? I said, no, I'm not on that mailing list. So turns out I emailed them right when I found out, and somebody who was in the training had dropped out, and I got the last spot
Wow.
in the training. I wasn't even planning, so it was, and it turned out the week that all my kids except for one were at scout camp. So they were off at camp with my husband. The other one was old enough to do his own
Yeah.
thing. He writes music, so he was, you know, playing with his composition, you know,
Right.
software. So he and I had a great week together, and I spent the mornings in the training for the whole week and got certified. And by the time we moved locations and opened up
Now,
in the new
has-
spot, I was
has-
certified to teach.
Has the move has been better for you than?
It's been so great. It's such a great location. We're so happy there. It's the perfect size for us right now. I mean, we have a couple classes that are maxing out on size,
Yeah.
but not all of them. So it's perfect for us. Yeah, we love it. It's great. I mean, and like I said, I have a bunch of other teachers. My main teacher, Donnie, it's Bonnie and Donnie. So Donnie teaches 4 classes a week. He teaches mostly gentle yoga.
Is he the one that was down at the other place?
Donnie was, but not John. You met John, who was
Yeah.
the previous owner. John doesn't teach anymore.
Oh, okay.
He retired and
Okay.
moved on. So it's me, Johnny, Mandy, who teaches
Yeah.
Zumba, and then I have Anton, who teaches an early morning class, 6:30 a.m. on Thursday, and then Beth, who teaches the aerial on Sunday. And then I have another girl, her name's Erin, and Erin also has a corporate job, so she can't do a ton of times, but she does a once a month class called spa yoga. So it's like being in the spa, but it's yoga. So her class is also very popular. So Erin's fantastic. We just have a great group of teachers right now. Just really happy with everyone who kind of gelled in this new spot, and the energy in the room is amazing. And people who come in, the minute you walk in, you can feel that it's just got a really good energy and I call it a yoga sanctuary.
Well, that's but I'm thrilled because, I know you were struggling in Connecticut, and it, and when I heard you were going to move, I said that's great, but now you got to start all over again.
We really didn't have to start all over again. I mean, it was a bit of a transition. I mean, our numbers dipped a little. We lost a few
Yeah.
people, which is to be expected. Not everybody wants to make the same drive
Yeah.
and whatnot. It just, some people we lost. But honestly, we've built back up. We have more members now than we did last January
Yeah.
at the same time. So being in this new location for 4, I mean, we opened up here in August, so September, October, November, December. So this is our 5th month
Yeah.
in the new location. We have more members
Than you had in the other place.
than we had last January. So, I mean, I feel like we're on the upswing, and it's a great location.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's fabulous.
Yeah, it's really, it's a good place. There's something for everyone. I mean, we have, our classes are definitely accommodating, especially Donnie's classes, and a couple of the Renew Body Sequence that I've talked about on some of the
Yeah.
other shows. Those Renew Body Sequence classes and Johnny's classes are, they're really good for new students who have never taken yoga before and might be a little intimidated or not know how it's going to go. It's a great place to start.
Well, I know Jen, where she works, they have it. I think it's I forget, Tuesday or Thursday, whatever day it is, and they have an hour lunch, but not everybody. It goes by different buildings and departments. So Jen's hour is 11:30 to 12:30. So there's a class from 11:30 to 12, then there's a class from 12 to 12:30. So everybody has an opportunity to go. Well, Jen loves it. She goes every Thursday, and like she said, but then the problem is, and then she was going Wednesday. She goes Wednesday nights in Charlton at the library.
Oh, nice.
And but my point is that she said she wishes they could have it so she could go like 3-4 days a week.
Yeah.
For a half an hour during her lunch break, and she said, because it's so, you go over there and you've been busy, you're on the phone, and then you get that half hour, and you just,
Yeah.
and you come back and you're really pumped for the after. You get back to work and you just feel so enthusiastic. So she really enjoys it, and so I'm thrilled that it's working.
Yeah, it's great. We're actually right next to the corporate offices,
Yeah.
so we do have some folks that are coming over on their lunch from the corporate
Yeah.
offices. There are a lot of businesses in downtown Webster, so I mean, if you know anybody that works downtown and is looking for a place to take their lunch break,
Yeah.
they can come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Monday and Wednesday classes are only a 45-minute class, so again, like you can sneak
Yeah.
out of work, take the class, sneak back. We have a changing room and a bathroom that you can change in, and then Fridays is an hour. My thought was with the Friday lunchtime class is that people are more inclined to take a slightly longer lunch break on a Friday, that they could
Yeah.
sneak in an hour class.
But it's
Yeah.
from when you first decided to do this, and then go to Connecticut, and now that you're back in Massachusetts, and it's working, fabulously, as a matter of fact, and we've added aerials.
Yeah.
So now, what else do they have? I mean, they got to have. I mean, think about it. If you got aerials, you got must be some kind of thing like they can fly out the window or something.
There's so many different kinds of yoga now. I mean, it's like
Oh,
they
I
have
know.
everything. They have Broga, which is like,
Jen gets a book, a magazine. I think it's called Yoga, as it happens.
yeah, Yoga Journal,
Yeah,
probably.
and she gets this magazine, and the numbers of things that they have,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
There is. I mean, it's awesome. I wish I could do all of it, but
Well, you
there's
only
only
can do
so many hours in the
You
day.
can only do so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we have some good workshops coming up too. We have Reiki. We have a vision board class. I'm trying to remember what else, but those are two that are popping into my head right away. Funny thing, I may possibly be doing a yoga retreat in Ireland.
Really.
So we'll see how. I don't want to give
What's
anything away, but
What's a yoga retreat in Ireland? You'd get a group of
So-
people here, and you'd all go to Ireland.
So how it works is you could just stay in this like amazing place in Ireland that like has like vegan homemade food, and we would do like yoga in the morning that I would teach, and then the afternoon she takes us sightseeing, and it's like in this amazingly beautiful.
Where in Ireland?
It's Kinsale. Have you heard of this?
Hinsdale.
Kinsdale. It's 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes from Cork.
From Cork. My grandmother, my Nana McGee, came from Cork.
Okay.
But anyway,
I don't know if it's going to happen.
we
but
have.
fingers crossed.
If that's Cork, we have
We'll see.
a time, and I gotta go before I can't go. But I usually fly to Dublin and stay in Dublin. When I was there the last time, I was talking to the cab driver who took us from the airport to the hotel, and he said that there's a bus that runs from Galway right across Ireland to Dublin. It goes back and forth every 20 minutes. And he says it costs about $20. But he said, you go right through the middle of Ireland, all these little towns, and you see the hills and the farms and everything, and some of the old castles. So I've always wanted to do that. But we were doing some research, and I found out where my father's family came from. Up in Galway, there's a town called, just about 20 miles from the airport, in Shannon, and the town is called Ballyvaughan,
Oh wow.
and it's where my father's family came from, and the town is named Ballyvaughan, and there's a couple of little motels, little bed and breakfast, very small town, and so I want to go there. I want to just go there.
Yeah.
You know, and just stand on the main street or the local street. So with Jen and I have been talking about, instead of flying to Dublin, in fact, the plane to Dublin, it actually flies to Shannon and then goes down to Dublin. And you leave Boston at 6:30 at night, and you get to Dublin at 5:30 in the morning, Thursday morning. You travel all night, but it's a 6-hour flight, but it's the time change.
Right.
So you get in at 5:30, but the plane goes into Shannon and lets people off, and some people get on, and then it goes down to Dublin. And so I'm thinking we'll fly into Shannon. I'll try to make a reservation at one of those little, for one night, at one of the little bed and breakfasts or little rooming houses up in Ballyvaughan, and go up and stay there overnight. And then the next morning, take that bus that goes to Dublin, and then travel you go right through the middle of the country, and take the bus over to Dublin, and stay in Dublin for 3 or 4 nights. So that's what because I have a lot of friends, we have a lot of friends in Dublin that we made we used to go every year. We haven't gone for 2 or 3 years, but we used to go every year.
Well, hopefully 2020 is the year that we both go to Ireland then.
I'm thinking about it, but you know, it's like everything else, making the time to do it.
You just got to do it.
Oh, I'm with you, and I'm with you. You just, that's the bottom line.
You just got to do it.
Stop talking about it and go.
Just go.
But anyway, but getting back to, so where's the actual, now, people are watching. How do they contact Bonnie and say, I want to go in the aerial class, or I want to do whatever you want?
So the best thing to do is go to our website, which is joyasana.com. So the way you spell that is JOYASANAH. Joyasana.com. JOYASANAH.com. And when you go
why
on
do you
there.
have such a difficult, why don't you have just Bonnie?
I don't know. I don't know why I did that.
You make a name that's hard to find. But anyway, go ahead.
You know what? But I've said before what it means, right? Have I said that on the show?
No.
So the word asana in Sanskrit means to sit or settle into. And all the yoga poses in Sanskrit have the name asana, the second half. So like mountain pose is Tadasana. Chair pose is Utkatasana. Warrior pose is Virabhadrasana. They all end in asana.
Where do they speak script?
The Sanskrit?
Yeah.
It's like an old, ancient language that the yogis, I mean, this yoga's been around so many thousands of years. You know what I mean? It's an old, ancient practice. So these words are ancient words. And actually, the meaning behind the syllables, there's actually a healing element to each syllable that matches a meridian in the body. So when you actually say the Sanskrit name to the pose, it actually opens up the meridians that pose opens up by saying the Sanskrit syllables. So anyways, I wanted to have one word, and I thought, well, if I put joy in front of asana, asana means to settle into. So it's like to settle into that pose. Then joy asana means to settle into joy.
Yeah.
I just made it up. And I added an H on the end. Usually asana doesn't have an H on the end, but I added the H because we say ah when we walk out the door. It's
Massachusetts,
like,
we have an accent.
You're right. I didn't even think of that.
Well, we call them Beamers. Everything is AH.
Yeah, it's Joyasana.
Yeah. Everything in Massachusetts ends in an AH.
You're so funny. I hadn't even thought of that, and that's so perfect. I'm changing my description from here on out.
There you are. It's because it makes it Bostonian accent.
Because I've been in Massachusetts since 1998, and now I can't leave now.
No, that's right, and that's how we talk. We park our car.
There it is.
Park your car.
It all makes sense now why I picked it that way. But you just go up on the website. There's
park your car in Harvard Yard.
On the homepage, it has the 2 intro offers. Like we have an introductory offer for aerial classes, which is 2 classes for $31, and you have 31 days to use that up. So you basically have a month to try 2 of the aerial. They're a little bit more expensive because
Oh, yeah.
you know, I can only take 8 students in most classes. The nappy hour I can take 9 because I'm not in a silk
Yeah.
to demo. And then the regular yoga classes, it's $13, so it's like a 13-day trial membership that you pay $13 for, and you can try any class you want for 13 consecutive days. Usually people get to try at least like 2-3 classes within those couple of weeks, and then after that you can kind of choose from there whether you want to do a class pass or a monthly membership or
Whatever.
yeah. So the website's pretty self-explanatory, but people message me all the time on the Facebook page too with questions like, oh, I want this, can you help me with that? And I answer questions right away through the Facebook page too. So
Good.
yeah.
Well, I'm delighted, and we're going to have to. Hey, Drew, we got to set a day. We've got to show people 8 people flying around a studio.
That would be awesome. I would love. I mean,
Well, we
hopefully
got
I'll get 8
their
people
permit.
that are.
We got to get the people to agree to let
I
us.
know. Hopefully, I'll get 8 people that are willing to go on TV because people are so self-conscious. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Richard and I, we just did a program before you got here, and he and I were talking. He said it's amazing the number of people he calls when they say, "I want you to be on interview on TV." I can't go on TV, and I have the same problem. It's amazing how many people I call to come on a program, and they're scared to death. And but anyway, but if you got to get, they have to agree to it, that we could go in there and do the show, and that would be awesome,
Yeah.
And because think how many people are sitting there trying to visualize swinging in a hammock doing yoga.
It's true. It's hard to. I do have some good pictures up on the Facebook page. If you go on to the Facebook and on the business
Another
page,
thing too would be
I have some good
would be a
pictures on
great
there.
program, is to have your different. I know they're all busy, but get some of your instructors to come on.
Right. Well, if we
And
could
then
get
you
the
and I-
5 of them to
you
come
and
and
I
do the
it.
aerial, and you could
and I can
interview
do
each
it.
of
Well,
them.
no, but they're all specialists
Yes.
in a different phase of yoga, and it would be fun to have, like, maybe you come with one of them, and each show we do, we have a different one come with you.
Yeah, I
and,
love that.
And then talk, and you and I and her or him can talk about what their particular program is.
Yes.
Because
Mandy would be great because she
I-
teaches Zumba in Charlton too.
see, the thing that I'm thinking is, I happen to be. I know how important it is for Jen, and how much she enjoys it and loves it. So because of that, I'm intrigued by it. That this is a good thing,
Right.
And there's people out there who have an opportunity to do a program with you, and and it's in Webster, and it's close by, and it's.
And it's so beneficial for so many things. I mean, I've had in the last 2 weeks so many people come in with girls, especially who are, tweens, teens that are really dealing with anxiety. And it's so prevalent right now with our young people, how much people are dealing with anxiety. And it's such a great
One of the things
tool
that's
for that.
really, really, I was talking to a good friend who's a therapist, and he said there's so many people out there who are really struggling, and it's young people, and he says it's not older people, it's younger people who really, as they're maturing and growing, everything is swirling around them, and they get panicky over, am I doing the right thing? And our society is so nuts now that we have to. But what a great thing! I just, we got to go. We got to go do a program. But anyway, we ought to get some of your people to come with you.
Definitely.
And when they're available,
I'll bring a friend next time.
yeah. And then and no, because I think it's important, and they can chat about it. So there's people out there. Now, what about?
Donnie plays the didgeridoo. We should have Donnie come bring his didgeridoo. He has 3 didgeridoos.
What's a didgeridoo? We have 20 seconds.
It's this big, long, pipe. It's an Aboriginal instrument from Australia, and it's makes this
Ricola.
yeah. It makes this low, very bass tone. That's very healing.
Wow.
I mean, it takes a lot
Hey,
of
folks,
work to play.
I love this lady. She's a great, great person, and she's got so much enthusiasm and energy, and so look it up online, Joy Asana, and get yourself involved. Bonnie, thanks. It's
Thank
another
you
great
for
program.
having me.
Yeah, and we'll do it again. We'll get somebody in here with you.
We can't
'Cause I think
wait.
people need to know all these things. There you are, folks. That's another Conversations with.